Hello and welcome to my shop. This is Jim Dedman, Sawlogs Plastic Hubs. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll be doing something interesting, so hang around, let's have fun. Okay, now we got to put a flat on this part, and we're not always sure about what these flats need to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring the mill up till it touches. I've already touched off the bottom of the part, and I'm going to go over here to DRO, and I'm going to set the X0 to 0, and we're going to go in 1/4 inch. I'm going to go into 1/8 first and see what it looks like, and then we'll come back and do 1/4. That way I'll have an idea of what this is going to look like when I come across it. This might be enough. It will be. Okay, because see, we just got a drawing that don't have this dimension on it. So what I done was I just took a piece of paper and I touched it. So it cut just a little bit. So now I've got the flat. So now I've got this kind of the shape of the drawing. I got to deburr this. The only thing I need to do is get these notches off and blend them. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that here in a second. Now that I've removed a good bit of it, I'm just going to stand here. I hope you can see this. And take my file and just sort of file it, the rest of it off. The aluminum's fairly soft, and file this into where it blends into the part. Again, this radius right here, what we're doing is just blending this radius back into the part. Basically where the lathe turned the radius to the proper dimension as best we can figure. You're always going to hit stuff a little bit with the file, so we got to be careful. And so you really want to take it out and look at it, and you want to try to file the high spots off. You know, again, what we're doing is replicating a casting here. So what we're trying to do here is replicate a casting and make it kind of blend like the casting did. So we're trying to get it to where it looks a lot more like a casting than a machine part. I presume when Vernon puts this together, he's going to paint this. Now, I've still got to make the shaft that goes with it, but I'm going to presume that he's going to paint this to match his Lisle grinder. And if he does, once you get it painted, you'll never know this is a machine part. That's going to be my kind of a goal here, and it's what I'm doing. And I'm just sort of trying to do this by eyeballing a file, is to kind of, you know, sort of like body work. We're trying to rough off. We're trying to kind of rough this off. You can't remove a lot of the sander, so some of it you want to get up here with your hands. We're going to take a piece of sandpaper now. Once we get these notches sort of filed in, blended. And see, this is how I done the other one. That I realized that when I done one side up before I put it back into the mill, and it looked really good, and I got done with it. So this is just basically all we're doing is just creating the radius, trying to make it look like a casting. I mean, you could probably put this thing in a rotary table and do it. But the problem with it is, then you still got to get it chucked up. And you're looking with something so small, it's a real problem. I'll bring you back and I'll get it. All right, I've been filing on this. I've been talking, thought I had the camera on. And this is what I'm doing to finish it. To get this into spot. To kind of just blend it. We're just blending it. I'll step over here. And what I'm doing is just taking basically some sanding rolls. And you see right here, you see there's still a little, so what I'm doing is trying to get this sanded where all the parting right here is, and I'm going to go over this with some 240 here in a minute to take some of this out. See, I've got this side kind of blended the way I want it. So now I'm concentrating on blending this in. And this is by hand. And, you know, I'll say again, this would be a rotary. You could do this on a rotary table and you could have made this perfect. But the number of setups, you really think about what I've done here, not counting my mistake, is I basically took a slug, turned it to this thickness, put it in the mill, milled this and this, I milled the slot and the hole, and I still got to deburr that. And then put it on a little mandrel. Now we have made a design change. This bore wouldn't be this big from the Lisle drawing, but since we're making the shaft, we're making the shaft to press into this with the 2000s fit on this end. So this will be pressed and Loctite, and so it's not going to go nowhere. They used a knurled shaft. Probably was simpler because they probably had these parts contract made by another shop, and by having them knurled like that took a lot of tolerances out. And once it's pressed together for the application, it would be just fine. But I don't have a set of straight knurls, and in talking with Vernon on the phone, I decided it was just the best answer to do this like this. Okay, now you see, we've got a shape. Take this piece of 120 here, and let's make it look pretty. Once we take this 120 and kind of, I'll tell you what, let me hold on just a second, bring you back. Okay, now there we go. That's the part. I got to do a little bit of deburring here. I got a little problem here, and I'm going to leave it because I tell you that was a little bit of a bozo there. But now you see that's, you know, if you look from the back, you see that's a nice blend. You got the little radius here, so that's going to look good on that grinder. What I'm doing is getting this level. There, it's dead level right there. Now what I'm going to do that for is there's got to be a bark engraved for 0 or stamped. Well, the way I'm going to do this is take my tool and center it and just scratch a line right here, so I know that's 0. That's as true as I can make it. And we're going to cut it in. This is aluminum, just fairly soft. There we go. So there it is. So basically what I've done is I just used the lathe to hold it up, centered it. Now I've got a nice 0 mark. I hope you can see this. Let me get you in frame. I don't know if you can see this or not. There you go. Now I've got to put the stamp on it. All right, there you go. Now this bracket is now complete. It's barked, filed, deburred, and ready for the shaft. So now we get to make the shaft. So that'll be the next piece of the video. Okay, we've got this little step. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I'm going to check it to make sure the depth's right on it, but it's right on size. I marked it. It's right dead in the middle. Let me grab me up. It's supposed to be, no, shit. Excuse my language. I got to start over. I just messed up. Look. Okay, I faced the part off. Now we're going to set the depth. It's supposed to be 115s to max. So we're going to go in about 110's middle of tolerance. We're going to lock her right there. And we're going to come down on her with a plunge cut. And then we're going to get close, and then we're going to turn the OD up to the blend it, and then we'll do it. So we can kind of control it. All right, let's check that. So we know we're looking for about 120. About 125 is big, 125 to 121. So we've got about a 4 thousandths tolerance here to hit. Okay, so we're about 350 right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out from right there, set myself a 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Turn up to the there. And back, check it again. Sneak up on it. We're not going to make mistakes. Yeah, it's real easy to overshoot this, so. And it's hard to mic this stuff, and this is a small dimension. So. Okay, so we're still about 250. So we got a ways to go. 20, 40, 60. This should be getting us close there now. Okay, that's about 150 right there. Now, tells me I've got about 25 to go, and I always, these Chinese lathes are sometimes notorious because of everything's metric in them, you know, and then even though they give you a standard dial, they made these suckers over in China, so you know that. So that's 20,000. So we're trying to get gnat hair here, I guess. Oh, we're good to go. I looked at my mic's wrong. I'm 150. I'm 155. So basically, yeah, I got 25 thousandths. So if I move it 10, then I should be about 5 over. 5 or 10 over. I said this little, we'll check the depth of this little lip. We got to adjust that we can. All right. Yep. We're at about 130 and a half. So we like approximately 5. We want about 124. So 130 and a half, and we want about 120. Yeah, we got 4,000, like 123. 123 would be good. So we're at about 30, so that's 7 thousandths. That should be about 3 right here. It's a little bit tricky to get a dimension like this when you're trying to deal with these things. Okay, yeah. We're at 123, which that's pretty much in the middle. So we'll live with that. Let me check the depth. Now, I don't particularly care where this is slick. This is pressed into the aluminum. The other end, I'm going to polish it down to size. All I'm carrying it, because this is a little bit rough, will be better for holding. All right, now I just mic'd this and made a couple of passes. So we're looking for basically 502. Somewhere 502, 503. So right now we're at 580. No, 579. Excuse me, we're at 579. So we're basically 29 thousandths. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take 20 right now on this pass. I've been putting the indicator back. And what I'm going to do here, when I'm getting close to the finish size, is I'm going to feed back. That way it gets rid of my tool marks. Now I'll do this on my finish when I get close to my finish sizes with this, because that way I get rid of my tool marks here. Like I said, I don't care if this is the prettiest finish entirely. This is going to be pressed up in there. Okay. So I'm basically at 560, 70 actually, which is good. So that's right. That's no. 565, excuse me, 50, 60, 65. So I've got probably 18 thousandths. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to take 10 more. We'll take a cut. That's 5 thousandths per side, by the way. And I want to make sure this is long enough. This has got to be at least, oh yeah, plenty. Because what I'm going to do is the length it really needs to be, I'm going to size it on the other end when I size it out. From the other side. I mean, I'll probably pull it out and rough it, and we'll cut it to length here in just a second. Okay, we should be a little bit oversized over our target, so we should have a, boy, that was luck. That's why you don't get in a hurry. Damn, come. Boy, that's right on it. I wasn't intending to be on it. I was holding off a little bit. That goes to show you what tool pressure do. That's why you want to allow to hold off a bit. So, I've got that side. Now we get to turn around and machine it. Turning it down to, I'm getting it down to approximately a ½ inch. So it'll be close to the other side. And then we're going to probably polish the last bit out. Okay. I'll come up on the stop. Even if I'm a hair bit under, I'm fine, because basically I got 4 thousandths to get to the high. What I might be going to do is shoot for the high and polish it. Okay, so I'm 1 thousandths under right now, which is good. And we're going to go back and we're going to take, I want to go for the high. So basically I got 3 thousandths. So I'm going to take so basically I'm wanting to polish it for the middle. So I'm going to go, that's right there. Then I'm going to just polish the rest to get the last, to make the finish look good and bring it right dead into where I want it. So this should get me a little bit above, right on the high tolerance, so to speak. Okay, because that's what I'm shooting for, is the high tolerance. And sure enough, I'm right on 496 right there. That's what I wanted to be on. So let me move all of this part out of the way, and we'll try to polish down this a little bit to get it down to we want to at least polish 1,000 or so out of it. I'd like to have it about, I really wanted about 495 to be finished. I'm going to get this thing back up to 800, see if we can make it slick as owl stop. I'll bring you back. Okay, this is the final step. There's like a little relief groove. So what I did, it says a V groove at certain angles. Well, what I did is figured up the angles. It's actually really close to a center drill. So I took an old center drill that was broken and reground it just to get a point on it. I've got it centered and figured, and the step over, basically I done it from the back, so I've got it in the right spot, and basically we got to go in about 15 thousandths on the depth, which is what the indicator says here for. So right now we're trying to get our speed set. Supposed to be B. It's not being B. I'm doing this at a really slow speed, so let's see how all this works. Okay, we're ready to start touching. So all we got to do is feed in approximately 15 thousandths. Get the proper groove width. I didn't touch, so I'm going to go a little bit more, because it's all this is for is like a detent to fit in according to Vernon. So that looks like that's going to be it right there. Oh yeah. All right, let me turn my speed up a little bit, and we'll hit it with the sander. And we'll hit it some of the sandpaper, knock all the burrs off. Okay, now we'll take this out and we'll give it a clean up and a quick check, see what we look like. Okay, we're pressing some more. Let me look, see where I'm at. Okay, good, you're still in the view. It's more or less got to be flush. So I got to kind of press it a little bit and check it to kind of get it to be flush where they want it. Just about there. I think that's it. Got a little bit of aluminum hang off of it off, and we'll see what we look like. Well, I feel like we've been successful. We have the part. Again, I want to, let me back up a bit. I want to extend those thanks out again to Mr. Pete and Randy Richards. Randy for giving us the address, Mr. Pete for going out and measuring his Lisle drill grinder and getting us the sizes to be able to make this shaft, to make this bracket. The shaft wasn't that difficult, and one of the things we did a little different than the drawing is because I knowed I was going to press fit this up. I bored this to basically reamed this to a 1/2 inch size here, because I knew that we was going to press a rust steel shaft in it. My original plan was to make this out of stainless and I wouldn't have to turn it as much, but it was already a 1/2 inch and I didn't have an undersized reamer. So I worked around the tools. We kind of made this around the tools we had here in the shop. So I'm going to get cleaned up and package this up, get it in the mail to Mr. Patriot. I think I still got his address there in the house. Get this video rendered so you guys can see us make these pieces. So again, thank you. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video. So let's put a disclaimer out of the way. This video is my idea how to do things. It's not the only way. So I hope you enjoyed it today. The other thing, comments are always welcome. Please take the time, if you feel so inclined, to make a comment on my videos. Also, I appreciate all my subscribers, the new ones and the new ones. And finally, the other disclaimer. This is a copyrighted production of James Dedman, Saw Logs Plastic Hubs, for your enjoyment on YouTube. Thank you, have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.